Hello, I'm Jonathan, and welcome to the Tamworth FC Social, a podcast all about Tamworth Football Club. This time, we're going to look back on the Lambs' start to the season, review our predictions, and look ahead a little bit now we've seen Tamworth actually in action. Don't forget to give this episode a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy what we do. I thought we'd start with kind of headline thoughts, really, from the first month or so of matches that Tamworth have played. What would your kind of quick summary be, Brett?
I mean, on paper, we started much better than last season in the sense that we've got, is it 4 more points than this time last year? We're on 0 goal difference as opposed to quite a hefty minus after that Barnet game last season. You could argue, I suppose, that we've been more competitive, but I think we could have and probably should have, based on how we have played. And this isn't such a criticism as it sounds, that we could be doing even better. We could and probably should have more points on the board. We could and should have scored more goals. So I think it's a mixed bag, really. It depends on how you look at it.
I can't remember if you said 4 or 5, Brett. I think it might be 5 more points versus 7 games in to last season. I was thinking just before we sat down to record, like, given there have been quite a lot of new signings and given the playing staff are part-time, it's quite a lot of, I suppose getting up to speed, like getting everyone playing the way Andy Peakes wants them to play, given they'll be training like twice a week at most, I would imagine. And they've doubled their points tally from this time last season.
Yeah, I mean, in relation to last season, we're obviously doing a hell of a lot better. And I think probably the expectations of the fans has increased since last season. Um, Myself personally, I think got to be realistic that with us being part-time club and what we're up against, we have to be realistic in where we want to be, which for me is just trying to stay away from the relegation zone. But I'd agree with Brett. Actually, we probably could have had more points on the board if we'd just been a little bit more clinical. But is that down to the fact that, as you say, we've got new players that have come in, a lot of new players, the most players we probably have come in since Andy Peace has become manager. There's a lot of new personalities and stuff in there. So, and styles. So it's just kind of bedding that all together and then making it work. We lost that, our best striker that was the third top goal scorer in the National League last season. So when you put it into perspective like that, we're 5 points better off, and we've got a new squad. Then I think 10th in the league, it's a really good start to the season when you look at it like that. We just have to do what we did last year and win the games that we know that we can. I'm really happy, to be honest, with where we are.
I can't remember if we would have said this on an actual recording or not, but we kind of, I think we're all in agreement in the summer, like staying up will just be another good achievement, and anything else is a bonus. And I think, like, you make a good point, Graham, like losing Dan Creaney, would have been such a monumental kind of source of goals to replace Randy Peakes. I think it's very promising how Duku started, actually, like 3 goals in 7 appearances for Tamworth in the National League. Like, that's, if he can maintain that, that probably won't be too far off what Dan Creaney finished up on for his league goals tally. I know it's a long way to go and things like that, and you would probably expect other players to kind of chip in as well.
I think for the amount of chances we create, I mean, just looking, I haven't seen the highlights of the Eastleigh game yet. But when you look at the Braintree game, the amount of chances that we do create, arguably we should be putting more away. That's my only criticism. I think it's not really even a criticism. It's just something that needs to be improved, and maybe that it will improve. If it does, then it could be in a really good place.
Do you think that will just come with time, Brett? I mean, it's still so early days.
If you take the last 3 games, obviously we're unbeaten now in 3. So we could be hitting a good bit of form. And as we probably move more into the kind of the rhythm and the routines, we should go from strength to strength. But I do feel like we are missing like a real clinical finisher. Because I know what we've just been saying about Ducky, and yeah, he has scored 3 and 7, but the amount of chances that we're creating, I just think that we should have scored more than we have, and that would be a worry coming into the winter or coming into playing the bigger teams, and especially away from home, and you don't get that many chances either. Like you can win and lose a game with the chances that you take. You get one chance in a game and squander it. That could be the difference between 3 points and no points, which ultimately could be the difference between going up or staying down. And I just think that we need to be a bit more prolific. And as Graham and you both said, that we need others to chip in as well.
Is that though the old like adage? If you're creating chances, though, surely eventually it will all click into place. Like it'd be even more of a worry, Graham,
Mm.
if there were not being
Yeah,
chances created at all.
I think you're right. I think, yeah, I see it from both sides, to be honest. I think Andy Peaks is very much how the way he plays is it's percentages, isn't it? With like the balls going in the box, it's like something will fall. If you get the ball in the box enough times, something will fall for you. And 9 times out of 10, that's worked pretty well. But you do have to have somebody in there who can put it in the back of the net and be clinical. And I think on the flip side, it's when we are playing these higher quality teams, we need somebody who is going to be able to do that and step up to it. I'm just thinking of like the game against Gateshead. I think it was like ball after ball after ball after ball after ball into the box, but unfortunately, just didn't really get anything onto it that day. Perhaps it's an off day because we have got better since then. But yeah, it's going to be whether or not it continues to gel for me, which it seems to be now at the moment, or whether or not, we need sort of other options potentially as the season goes on. I mean, we've not really seen much of Lynch yet. I'm not sure, like, sort of how if he needs to adapt to our style of play, I would say. He seems to like it into feet. Not sure he'll always get that with the way we sometimes play. So it's hard to be critical really because of the position where we are in the league and we've got some wins. But my only kind of criticism, which is almost slash an improvement, is let's try and be more clinical.
But I was just going to mention Ollie Lynch, like someone who he's kind of been coming off the bench more now. We're a few games in because he started, I think, the first few games, didn't he? And now seems to be like coming off the bench more as an impact sub.
The thing with Ollie Lynch, I think he's obviously really young, and he had a decent season last season at Hemel Hempstead. And he's obviously really highly rated at Luton as well. The fact that they're using him for their Johnson's Paint Trophy, whatever it's called this year, they're using him as part of their squad for that. There's obviously something there. It's definitely not suited to the way that we've been playing with him at the moment. I think we haven't learned to use him where we can switch the style up. But I don't know if we've got the players to do that now. I think Harvey Sayer and Bekray Noru together on those wings look really creative. But I don't think there's enough creativity coming through the middle to be able to switch the play up completely. I think that's probably where I think we need a bit more pace going through the middle, which is then where I think Ollie Lynch could really probably benefit from. I think Ducky likes to sit a bit deeper as well from how we've seen him play. He likes to sit a bit deeper, get himself into the space, and then perhaps maybe Lynch needs to be running on from them. But they haven't been playing much together either. It's either been Ducky or Lynch.
I think it's interesting you say that about the centre and mid because I think a few people have kind of said that's perhaps where there needs to be some improvements. And just when you were talking, then the person that came to mind of like how linking that together, getting things to feet, and a bit of creativity is obviously like a Jamie Jealous equivalent because we're kind of lacking that in the midfield at the moment. Like I think Tonks and Bates have started the season well clearly like work really, really hard, battle for everything. Then we've kind of got that. Is it almost like I don't know, it's the shadow striker or just attacking midfielder where you've got Stefan Moles who's been playing or Ponticelli's been playing. I think that position is probably where we probably slightly need to sort of to look at. Moles is someone who's clearly got a lot of talent, But again, it's like whether how he's fitting into that mold at the moment. And I was expecting to hear his name quite a bit in terms of assists and chipping in with goals based on his stats from that season. So yeah, I think that's for me. I agree with Brett in that kind of creative element through the centre park is yeah, it's an improve. Again, it's something to improve. I don't think it's a necessarily a criticism. We're 7 games in.
Just thinking about Moles there, what you were just saying, Graham, doesn't that also show the size of the step up as well, though, from like conference north or south to the national? We said about it when we got promoted into the national and said, "Oh, the jump's huge. Probably a similar kind of jump from the Championship to the Premier League." But we've got players who are good players at that level. Alfie Bates, who has been fantastic since he's come in. Moles, well, I'm not saying he's not been effective or he's not done anything, but like, look how good he was for Curtin Ashton, and he's struggled to kind of get that authority in the league above. It's probably the quality of opposition that he's up against week in, week out.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It must be quite an adjustment to step up to that. And I think, yeah, Alfie Bates has done well stepping up. But yeah, mate, it takes time, doesn't it, for those? And that's what we saw last season with a lot of the Tamworth players. So, but I think we've got a talented group now. We've got a much more talented group than what we had last season in terms of just the pitch. So I think having a player like Donkor at right back, he's brilliant. He's really, really good player. I think that could be such a good sort of like piece of business for us. Because he's probably somebody who'll probably end up going back into the Football League eventually. And we could probably sign him on or whatever. But I obviously don't want that to happen at the moment. But that's a really decent signing as well.
Harvey Sayer, considering he's come from Lowestoft, he has really adapted well, and he's got such good eyes. I think he can really put the ball across on a plate almost, and that's what I mean about needing to be more clinical. The chances he will create, which is a different way to. So Beckeray will get the ball down and run with it into dangerous positions, where Harvey Sayer can bring the ball down, have a look across the line, and play that ball just where it needs to be. I think we will definitely get chances with those two, but I think he has looked really promising since he's come in.
Not only joined from a lower division as well, but joined from a team who got relegated from that lower division as well. Shall we do some predictions? So, people who've listened to this podcast before, you may remember it's 1 point for a correct result, 3 points for a correct scoreline. I believe this is the first predictions review of the season. Would be remiss if I didn't mention I am the reigning champion. I can only assume, guys, my gift is in the post already. My prize for winning it. No, silence is
Yeah.
deafening, right?
We're working on it.
Starting with the Scunthorpe game. So none of us got the score right. None of us actually said a defeat for Tamworth either. Of course, it was a 2-1 loss. Southend, both me and Brett got the 2-0 defeat correct. Graham, you said 2-1. Truro City, none of us got the score, but we all said win. Gateshead away. Brett, you were the only one to get the result right there. Brackley at home. Brett, you got the scoreline exactly correct. Braintree away. None of us said a win there. And then Eastleigh at home. Brett, you got the scoreline exactly correct. And Graham, you also said a win.
It's the dawn of a new era. Reigning supreme early doors.
I thought I'd seen it all until now. If my math is correct, I make it that Graham, that leaves you on 3 points, leaves me on four, and with an extraordinary early lead opened up, Brett is on 11 points. What do you have to say for yourself?
Want to quit while I'm ahead, I think.
I had the time. I'd look back and see how long it took us to get to 11 points last year. That is quite incredible. The task then, Brett, is to keep going. Let's look ahead to the rest of September's fixtures. So I will go first, and I will just rattle through these. So York City away, I'm going to go for a 1-0 defeat. York are currently unbeaten, but I'm just wondering if it's one of these away days where Tamworth will kind of dig in and it will just be a close scoreline in the end. Sutton United away, I'm going to go 2-1 win Tamworth. Sutton have conceded quite a lot of goals early doors. I was umming and ahhing, maybe going for a bigger win than that, but I'll go 2-1. Yeovil at home, I've gone 1-0 Tamworth. Wealdstone at home, I've gone 2-1 Tamworth. Wealdstone have had quite a lot of goals noticed in their games so far. And then to close out the month at Hartlepool, I'm going to be optimistic again and go 1-1. Graham, would you like to go next?
Am I right in saying I won the first time?
You did, yes, you did. You got that
Yeah.
little pin badge as
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. York, can't really see anything better than a draw, really. So I think it'll probably be 2-0 York, I would say. I think we'll put in a good shift, but it's going to be difficult that. What's the next one after that? Sutton United. Yeah, they've had a really poor start to the season, haven't they? They're sitting in the bottom three, have conceded a lot of goals, albeit they have scored quite a few as well. I'm going to say 2-2 actually on that one. Yeovil at home. So yeah, I mean Yeovil chopped and changed with obviously the manager. I think that one we can get a result. So I'm gonna say 2-1 to Tamworth for that. Next one, Wheelstone, is it? Well, they've had a really good start, Wheelstone. I do think they'll probably drop off though. I think that's going to be a really interesting game actually. Two quite similar teams, really. Obviously, both part time, could be really competitive. I'm going to say with that, I'm going to go quite high scoring. I'm going to say 3-2 to Tamil. And then the final one, Hartlepool away. Yeah, difficult fixture that one. They've made some good signings in the summer. They're not conceded many. Might be 1-0 to Hartlepool.
Go on then, Brett. Enlighten us with the genius.
So I think we could lose 3-0 against York. Just thinking about how it was there last year. It was a horrible 90 minutes. And then Sutton's a really tough one because they've conceded loads and scored loads. So I'm tempted to say 2-2, but I feel like I could say 2-2 for loads of these. I'll go 2-1 Tamworth for that one. Yeovil, I will go 1-0 to Tamworth. Wealdstone, I will go. Oh, I think that could be quite a high score as well. I'm going to go 2-2, I think, for that one. And then Hartlepool, I could see us again getting not a lot out of that one. So I could see us losing 2-0 there, I think.
Let's hope
Um,
none of those predictions come off apart from the wins, bro.
I guess Brett, what gives me a bit more heart, like this is a really busy month, but Tamworth can win away now. Like it's
yeah,
not like we were last season where we were like really putting a lot of our hopes on the home games. Like there is a reasonable chance of going to Sutton and getting points like they did last season.
yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, like you win, it breeds confidence, doesn't it? What will be interesting with that after that then run of games, the FA Cup starts after the Morecambe game. That can go one of two ways, and again, that can breed some more confidence, very much like it did last season.
I was gonna say as well, who do we think takes the next penalty for Tamworth? Because there's already been a few saved.
Just a sing ticket, nothing else to lose, have we? We missed the last two.
Who's that?
Jazz.
Just think. You just want someone to just lever it, don't you? That's what you want. I think the two penalties we've taken so far have been. I mean, I thought like Tonks would have just smashed it, but he just sort of tried to place it, and then Turku's done the same thing. Just need somebody to absolutely lever it. Do you know who I'd probably say? Actually, Harvey Sayer. He deserves the chances because he's somebody. If you're going to go for precision, he might. He's good with set pieces and everything and crosses and why not put him to do it? Probably a lot of pressure for him actually, but yeah, I can't really think of anyone that would do that for right now.
Ben
It is difficult.
Mills, if he's on the pitch.
Who took the penalty? Is it Burton? Ben
I was
Mills.
just about to mention Brett. Mills took the first one, then it was Fletcher, then Crompton. So players are no longer at the club, then Hollis. You'd think it's not that unusual for a captain to just say, right, I'm going to just take the responsibility now if he's on the pitch. But then if that captain is Jazz Singh, maybe less so.
I mean, to be fair though, if Jazz Singh wants to take a penalty, then he can take a penalty because there have been goalkeepers that do that in the past, isn't there?
There was a
Yeah.
Brazilian goal kick. Was he Brazilian? Do you remember?
Paraguayan, Chilavert.
Chilavert?
Yeah,
Yeah. Like he used to take. There was
he was good.
someone who took them for Bayer Leverkusen, wasn't there as well?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but like, I love how we've gone from Jazz Singh within about a minute, being quite an unserious suggestion to like, well, actually.
It could work.
Right, we'll leave it there for this episode of the Tamworth FC Social podcast. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and give this episode a like. And until next time, goodbye.